Hi friends, it's Miss Hannah here, and today we are going to read Hooray, a Piñata. Has anyone ever been to a birthday party that has a piñata? This is what a piñata is. It's like an animal or a design that you can put candy in it, and then you usually hit it with a stick and candy comes falling out. Let's see what happens with this piñata book. Clara's birthday was coming. I'm going to make a cake at my party, she told her friend Samson. Of course you'll have a cake, said Samson. There's always cake at birthday parties. And I'm going to have balloons, Clara said. Everyone has balloons, said Samson. And I'm going to have a piñata too, Clara added proudly. Mama's taking me to pick one out this morning. Want to come? Hooray, a piñata! Samson clapped his hands. I love piñatas. I love piñatas too, said Clara as her mother led them to the piñata store. I love to fill them with candy. I love to whack them, Samson said. And smack them and crack them, said Clara. And mash and smash and break them, said Samson. And watch the candy fall, yelled Clara. And eat the candy, shouted Samson. So they're off to the piñata store. There were so many piñatas to choose from. Donkeys and dinosaurs, peacocks and stars, robots and ice cream cones, lions and lambs, all ruffly and fluffily in their bright paper curls. There were even some monster piñatas. Samson made a face at a big jagged one. Get this scary thundercloud monster, Clara. A thundercloud monster? Clara shook her head. I like this little dog. Can I get him, Mama? Look at that scary thundercloud monster piñata. If that's the one you want, said her mother. He's the one, said Clara. That dog is so small he won't hold very much candy, Samson told her. I like him, though, Clara replied. He's a good little dog, the piñata vendor said, as he lifted the piñata down. Clara took the dog into her arms. He was light and soft and smelled like newspaper. Clara petted the dog's curly fur as she carried him home. I think I'll name him Lucky. He looks like a Lucky, said Samson. He's a good little dog. We could take him to the park for a picnic. Mom wants me home for lunch, replied Samson. And you should save that piñata for your birthday. You don't want it to get wrecked. It won't get wrecked. Don't worry, Clara answered him. At home, Clara gave Lucky a bowl of crunchy brown cereal because it looked a little bit like dog food. Lucky seemed to enjoy it. When he had eaten, Clara made him a collar and a leash and took him out for a walk. Along the way, they stopped to greet people and other dogs and to smell bushes, flowers, and trees. There she is, feeding him the cereal. Then they came home and dug a deep hole in the sand. What are you doing with that poor piñata? Samson called from across the fence. Lucky's digging, Clara told him. He's getting all dirty, Samson replied. He'll shake himself clean. Clara, honey, called her mother, shake yourself clean and get your sweater. We're going to Grandma's for dinner. See you, Clara, said Samson. Take care of that piñata. I will, Clara promised. She held Lucky tight as the car sped across the city. Lucky sniffed the air with its many smells, salty, oily, bready, sweet. His ears flapped in the wind. Grandma was waiting for them on her porch. Look, I got a dog. Clara ran to show her. What a good little dog, Grandma patted him, so quiet and so clean. I have to keep him clean because he's really a piñata, said Clara. If I bathe him, his fur would fall apart. Because remember, friends, his fur is made out of newspaper, and if newspaper gets wet, then it just melts into mush. But you can brush him, Grandma said, and they went into the house. And you can keep him warm. She gave Clara a small crocheted blanket, and here's a little spending money just for you. Thanks, Grandma. Clara hugged her. She knew what she would spend the money on, dog biscuits, and ride the merry-go-round near Grandma's house. After dinner, they walked there together. As her horse galloped around and around, Clara pretended that she and Lucky were flying. They flew in Clara's dreams that night. Look at them flying around. And on her swing the next morning, they ate cheese sandwiches together and listened to stories, and bicycled around the block with Samson. "Careful with that piñata," Samson yelled as they raced down the hill. "Don't worry, Samson, he's safe." There's the piñata in her little basket. That afternoon, Clara and Samson made paper hats for everyone who was coming to the party the next day. Clara made a little hat for Lucky. You like that piñata so much," Samson said. "It's going to be sad when we stuff him full of candy and break him." Clara's eyes filled with tears. "I don't want anyone to break him," she said. "You mean you won't have a piñata at your party?" asked Samson. "No candy?" "We can have candy in bowls," Clara suggested, though she knew that it didn't sound like much fun. Samson sighed. "You should have a real dog, Clara. Maybe I could get you a puppy for your birthday." "I can't have a real dog," Clara said. "Dogs and cats make my mother sneeze." "They do? That's too bad. I'll have to get you something else then," Samson said. "What?" asked Clara. "I'm not sure. I'll think of something good, though." I wonder what Samson's going to get Clara for her birthday. Early the next morning, Samson came by with 2 presents. Clara opened the smaller one first. Inside was a rawhide bone for Lucky. "Thanks, Samson." "Open the big one," Samson said. Clara tore off the wrapping paper and saw something big, jagged, and scary. "Hooray, a piñata!" Clara clapped her hands. "Hooray, a piñata!" Samson clapped too. "What, a piñata?" said Clara's mother. Clara hugged the thundercloud. "Let's fill it with candy right now." "Before you make friends with that thing," said Samson. Clara's father helped them cut a hole in the piñata and fill it with taffy, tiny bags of jelly beans, and shiny chocolate kisses. Then they taped the hole shut and hung the heavy thundercloud in Clara's tree. So Samson brought Clara a thundercloud piñata so that she didn't have to break the dog. That was very nice of him. The piñata scowled at the guests as the guests arrived in the party. It glared as they sang and ate cake. It grinned its toothy monster grin as the children took turns trying to break it. They whacked it and cracked it and mashed it and bashed it, but the storm cloud still didn't open until Clara gave it a thundering thwack, and candy showered down on the children. "Hooray, hooray!" they screamed and ran and grabbed as much as they could hold. Get all that candy. And when they'd eaten all they could, they played with the piñata. Samson wore the scowly face as a mask. Clara turned the bottom into a hat, and Lucky chased a yellow lightning bolt through the grass. So Samson was a good friend by buying Clara that piñata so that she didn't have to break her dog. What are some good things that you've done for your friends? Thanks for listening. Bye, friends.